The predator cub bit the human's boot. She pointed a finger, and it dropped. Whining Ambassador Krelthar had negotiated treaties across 40 star systems, but nothing had prepared him for humans. Dr. Sarah Chen stood barely 5.5 feet tall, with auburn hair tied back in a ponytail. To Krelthar's compound eyes, she appeared soft, slow, and decidedly fragile. Her species had joined the Galactic Coalition only 3 years ago, and already they were causing confusion across every established protocol. The incident occurred on Vixara Prime, homeworld of the warrior Vexians. They were apex predators, 8 feet of corded muscle, razor-sharp claws, and teeth designed to tear through reinforced plating. Even their cubs were formidable, trained from birth in dominance and combat. Krelthar had warned Sarah, "The Vexians do not tolerate weakness. Their cubs test boundaries through aggression. Show fear, and they'll perceive you as prey." Sarah had smiled. "Don't worry, Ambassador. I grew up with 3 younger brothers and worked at an animal rescue. I'll manage." The delegation gathered in Clan Blackfang's ceremonial hall. Warlord Threxus presided, a mountain of scar tissue and violence. Beside him reclined Lady Vixara, and at her feet prowled their cub Krex, already the size of an earth wolf. Negotiations proceeded smoothly until Krex decided to test the strange newcomer. The cub circled Sarah twice, sniffing. Then, with predatory speed, he lunged and clamped his teeth onto her boot. The hall fell silent. In Vexian culture, this was a challenge. The proper response was to strike back with force or submit by retreating. Sarah did neither. She looked down at Krex, expression unchanged. The cub growled, shaking his head, demonstrating ferocity. His parents watched with interest. Then Sarah raised her hand and pointed one finger at Krex's face. Her eyes narrowed. Her posture became immovable. "No," she said, the word wasn't loud. "No weapons, no violence, simply absolute." Krex's eyes widened. His ears flattened. The growl died, replaced by a whimper. He released the boot and dropped to his belly, head down, tail tucked, complete submission. Gasps echoed through the hall. Warlord Threxus rose, hackles raised. "What weapon does she wield? I do not believe she used a weapon," Krelthar stammered. Sarah, oblivious to the crisis, reached down and scratched Krex behind his ear. The cub's tail wagged hesitantly. "Good boy. We don't bite people." Lady Vixara approached, predatory grace radiating from every movement. She stopped before Sarah, studying her with ancient intelligence. "Human, explain what you have done to my offspring." Sarah blinked, confused. "I just corrected his behavior. He needed to know biting isn't acceptable." "Through what means?" "I detected no pheromonal warfare, no subsonic frequencies, no pain compliance. I just told him no." "You told him, and he obeyed." "Well, yes. Clear boundaries with confidence. Body language, tone, intent. You show you're in charge without aggression. It's basic behavioral communication." Warlord Threxus approached, now towering over Sarah. But she didn't shrink. She simply stood, meeting his gaze with calm acknowledgement. "Human Sarah, in our entire history, no off-worlder has made a Vexian cub submit without violence or threat of death. You did so with a gesture and a word." "I'm sorry if I overstepped." "This is not an offense," Lady Vixara interrupted. "This is extraordinary." She looked at her mate. "Ambassador, what else should we know about humans?" Krelthar's mandibles clicked nervously. "Humans are unusual. Their homeworld produced thousands of predator species. Humans survive not by being strongest or fastest. Then how?" Threxus demanded. "They became the apex predator of apex predators. They hunted creatures that could kill them easily. They domesticated their rivals. Creatures like wolves, pack hunters similar to your species, became their companions." Sarah looked uncomfortable. "That's a dramatic way to describe dog breeding." "Dogs?" Lady Vixara accessed the database. Her eyes widened. "These small, docile creatures were once wolves? Apex predators?" "Over thousands of years, yes." The warlord stared at Sarah with new understanding and wariness. "What you did to my cub. This is how you created dogs from wolves?" "Among other things. Selective breeding, socialization, training. But yes, establish yourself as authority through consistent behavior, not fear or pain." Krex sat at Sarah's feet now, gazing up adoringly. When she scratched his head, his tail thumped. "Remarkable," Lady Vixara breathed. "And horrifying." "Why horrifying?" "Because humans don't dominate through strength alone," Warlord Threxus said carefully. You dominate through something subtler and more complete. You make others want to submit. You change predators until they see you as their ultimate pack leader. We prefer to think of it as companionship, mutual respect. You may prefer that, Krelthar observed. But the warlord isn't wrong. Humans form cross-species bonds that override instinct. Since joining the coalition, you've connected with 17 species. Several report feeling protective of humans. Others desire to please them beyond professional duty. Sarah frowned. That sounds like we're manipulative. Not manipulative, Lady Vixara corrected. Transformative. You invite compliance. Somehow that's far more powerful. The negotiation concluded with unprecedented success. As they departed, Krex followed Sarah, whining softly. You've made a conquest, Krelthar observed. Sarah knelt, giving Krex a final pat. Be good. Listen to your parents. On the shuttle back, Krelthar studied his colleague. Dr. Chen, do you understand what happened? I accidentally impressed them by treating their kid like a puppy. You demonstrated why the coalition welcomes and fears your species. You turned a warrior cub into a follower with voice and will alone. Imagine humans on a galactic scale. Sarah was quiet. We're not trying to dominate the galaxy. I know. That's what makes you dangerous. You don't realize you're doing it. You simply are, and everything begins orbiting your gravity. Sarah gazed at the stars. Somewhere out there, humanity's presence was spreading, making friends, building bonds transcending species, reshaping the galaxy the way they'd reshaped wolves, through patience and unshakable confidence. Krelthar shuddered. Not fear exactly, but profound awareness that the galaxy had admitted something unprecedented, something that conquered not through force but through something permanent. Humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be quite wild again.